Another great thing about being on a Contiki trip is how much you learn about the countries that you're travelling to. One of the best things I ever heard as a trip manager was when people would leave the trip saying that they felt more enlightened than when they started. Maybe they didn't know a particular fact about a country, or they didn't know the particular language. And it's our job as trip managers to make sure that our travellers leave their tour feeling like they've had the best experience. One of my favourite countries ever to talk about was Italy, because you can stand up and talk about Italy for hours. The greatest thing I told about Italy was its regions. People don't realise that Italy is actually made up of 20 different regions, or as we would call states, and they used to be their own countries in their own right up until the end of the 18th century, when one king called Victor Emmanuel brought all of Italy together. So Italians, for instance, will very rarely consider themselves Italians first. They'll introduce themselves as the region that they come from. So when we're in Venice, it's very polite to say that you're Venetian instead of Italian, and people from Florence are Tuscan as opposed to Italian. Berlin is one of those cities that someone once described as the city of our generation, because in terms of the UN, it's only been around since 1989. Some of the top sites in Berlin that you have to do is the roof of the Reichstag building. It was designed by a British architect called Norman Foster, and at night time you can see all across Berlin. And it means a lot to the German people. The Reichstag is their parliament building, and it doesn't have a glass roof just for any reason. It has a glass roof because the word that describes German politics is transparency. You have to try currywurst outside of Central Station, which is this little mystery meat sausage covered in curry sauce, but it's something only Berliners absolutely love. This is just a taste of what I would say to a group as we approached and arrived into Berlin.